Now listen, I know that you all have heard about these two little freaky ducks right here. If you don't know who these are, this is Bridget Ziegler. She is the founder of Moms for Liberty. And this is her husband, Christian Ziegler, and he is GOP chairman down in Florida, something like that. And together, the two of them are a power couple in politics down in Florida, right? They've been working together to get CRT banned, to get books banned, any books that talk about sex or black people in any kind of way, slavery, LGBTQ. They've been getting all of these books banned, right? And come to find out that these two have been participating in threesomes. It went south because he wanted to hook up with the third partner, but the third partner didn't want to hook up because she wasn't going to be involved. The third partner was really feeling her, not him. And so, because the third partner wasn't really feeling him, but he was feeling her, he aggressively took it. And so now, the third partner has called the cops and is accusing him of rape. And now all of their business is out here in these streets.
Cautionary tale about stones and glass houses. Meet Christian Ziegler. Christian is the chair of the powerful Florida GOP, a longtime Republican Party official. Christian was also a Sarasota County commissioner who ran on a, quote, family values platform. This is his wife, Bridget. She's an equally as powerful crusader, hell-bent on the destruction of individual rights. The co-founder of Moms for Liberty, Bridget helped Florida Governor Ron DeSantis create the Don't Say Gay bill and stood by him proudly as he signed it into law. She also enjoyed favorite child status with Ron DeSantis, who appointed her to the board that runs Disney World's infrastructure. One of Bridget's biggest pet projects and that of Moms for Liberty, to ban books that talk about diversity, equality, inclusion, and LGBTQ+ issues, among other things, and to eliminate them from schools, claiming to be protecting children from harmful exposure to these concepts. And for good measure, they also like to go after the librarians and the teachers, and to alienate LGBTQ+ children who are just trying to be themselves. Why? Because according to the Bridget Zieglers of the world, that's the right agenda. Pun fully intended. So this holier-than-thou conservative husband and wife have now admitted to at least one consensual threesome with a longtime friend of Christian's. And Christian is being accused of rape by that woman. She claims that he sexually assaulted her inside of her own home after she turned him down for yet another threesome with Bridget. The accuser has told the police she didn't want to have sex with Christian only because Bridget wasn't going to be there, and she was, quote, more in it for her. Christian has denied raping the woman and says it was consensual sex. But Christian has also confessed to recording this incident, which he said he initially deleted, but then later decided to upload it to a Google Drive. Law enforcement is now investigating the woman's claims, and there have been several calls for Christian and Bridget to resign from their positions of power and influence. This tale isn't fiction. It's reality. And the most real part of this is the hypocrisy of not only the Zieglers, but of the Republicans. Look, it's your business to do what you want to do. It's certainly not my business to tell you how to conduct yourself in the privacy of your bedroom. If the married Zieglers want to participate in a consensual sexual encounter with another woman, that is their business. And with an allegation of rape having been made against Christian Ziegler, the justice system will play its part. But when Bridget Ziegler decides to tell you and me what we should do with whom, when, and how, I've got a problem. And when the Zieglers want to dictate what books my child can read and they claim to know better than I do as her parent, I have a problem. And when the Zieglers want to dictate what books my child is going to learn, the education that she's going to get, whether my child is going to be in a place that is good for her, I have a problem. Republican hypocrisy isn't anything new. I mean, look at what Lauren Boebert and George Santos stand around and holler about, but then compare that to how they've actually conducted themselves. Republicans are the party of hypocritical judgment. With them, every accusation is a confession. It's the rights for me, but not for thee party. For Republicans, a married Christian and Bridget Ziegler can have sex with another woman, but don't you try to do that for yourself. If you do, you're on your way to hell and a sexual deviant. And you definitely can't write about that kind of sexual encounter in a book, or else she and then the Moms for Liberty will come for you in that book. Well, when you're the star of the Republican Party in Florida, sharing your Christian conservative values with the governor, you may think you could do anything and not have to pay the price. But here's the rude awakening. There's always a price for hypocrisy. And Bridget and Christian Ziegler are learning that their public personas have collided with the truth of their private lives, and the hypocrisy is making their house a glass one.
Now let me tell you what my problem is. I was reading the Rolling Stone article regarding all of this, and in that article it had a link to the Sarasota Police Department public records information in regards to this investigation. So I go on over and I pull up the document, right? And look what they did. They heavily redacted all of the information. You can't even find the names of the parties involved. It's either blank or heavily redacted. So they are working together in conjunction to keep us from finding out how freaky deaky they really are. But guess what? I found another article, an article from a news organization that isn't as big as Rolling Stone. And so I start perusing through that article, and they had a link to search warrants to Christian Ziegler regarding this investigation and this case. 2 search warrants. One search warrant is them trying to get information from Christian Ziegler's Google account. The other search warrant is to get their hands on Christian Ziegler's cell phone, which is a black iPhone 15. And guess what's listed in this search warrant? In this search warrant, they have to list why they want this search warrant. And so in the why, they list all of the information that would have been on that investigative report that they blacked out. And let me read to you what he did to the victim. Here's what went down. On 10/4, the victim reported she had been sexually assaulted by Christian Ziegler on 10/2. The victim was treated and examined at Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where a sexual assault kit was completed. The sexual assault occurred at the victim's apartment. On 10/5, detectives began the investigation, which revealed the following. The victim and Christian Ziegler have known each other for 20 years. On 10/2, the victim and Christian agreed to have an sexual encounter that included Christian's wife, Bridget. When the victim learned that Bridget could not make it, she changed her mind and canceled with Christian. On 10/2, the victim opened her apartment door to walk her dog, and Christian was standing outside in the hallway. Christian entered the apartment, bent the victim over the bar stool, and penetrated her with his shabuenka. The victim advised Christian did not wear a condom, and he stated, quote, "I'm leaving the same way I came in," end quote. The victim said she, Christian, and Bridget were actually involved one time over a year ago at their house. The victim stated that when Christian came over, she was not in a place to consent because it was her day off and she had been drinking tequila all day. The victim advised she called her sister and told her she was great. The sister immediately went to the victim's house. Now it goes on to talk about what the victim's sister had to say. It also goes to talk about how they saw him on surveillance cameras that were in her apartment complex. Talks about how they need the cell phone in order to search for this, and this. It talks about how after the graping, how he had reached out to the victim through Instagram, and she basically was telling him that, she wasn't cool with what went down the other day. She confronted him and said, you raped me. And he was trying to, soften it up, trying to make it seem like it wasn't, trying to deflect from the conversation and all of that jazz. But it all adds up to, evidence. And so, yeah, the details are in the search warrant affidavit. They tried to block it from the police notes that you get from the police department. Yeah. Spread the word. Repost this. Let people know what these Christians are capable of.